If I could be at the foot of the cross of Calvary and crawl up on that cross with him and give myself with him, who was giving himself for me in the world, through him, with him, and in him to the Father, would I not do that? Yes, I would. And that's when I realized what the Mass was. My first Bible study was taught by an ex-Catholic who was taught by an ex-priest. So I knew the church was Satan's system and all of that. I'm not going to be Catholic. In that summer, I listened to the tapes of a certain troublemaker named Scott Hahn, who was a Presbyterian minister, become Catholic. And I said, I don't care what he was. I don't care what he could not have had a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ and then become Catholic. But that started my journey. And a 4.5-year journey that is just unbelievable. And what it led me to the Catholic Church, as you know, and the two problems I had at the end, not Mary. In fact, I tell everyone, you want to know Jesus, go to Mary. She'll say, do I have a son for you? She's one single-minded Jewish woman, not to worry. But two problems, the sacramental nature of the church and the nature of the Mass. The sacramental nature of the church, I was brought up in Protestantism under a strong Calvinism. I love John Calvin. I read every one of his institutes, and things are fallen. Creation is falling. So how could God give grace through the sacraments? Forget it. But I realized that Naaman going into the water because he was a leper, and God wouldn't heal him. And the little girl said, go into the water. Does water save us? No, but obedience to God does. And if Naaman went into the water, which is a symbol of cleansing, God cleansed him through the water. Does water cleanse us? No. Is baptism necessary? Absolutely so. Does the water baptism save us? No. But through the water, which symbolizes what God does out inwardly, he symbolizes by the outward sacrament. So the water is a symbol of cleansing. I'm talking too fast. And he does that on the inside. He removes the stain of original sin and makes us his child. And so the second thing was, and I understand the sacraments give grace, but the second thing was the nature of the Mass. In the Mass, I went every Sunday, 2 hours a drive to go to a different Catholic church. I keep hearing the same thing. When the priest raises the wafer, wheat and water, and he says over the wafer the words of consecration, the Catholic Church believes bread becomes God, wine becomes God. And I said, how could that be? And we are to offer ourselves through him, with him, and in him to the Father. I said, wait a minute, Jesus paid it all. Isn't his sacrifice sufficient? Oh, there's so much to tell you. But I thought that moment of a mother in the kitchen baking a chocolate cake, and her little 3-year-old comes in. And she says, Mommy, can I help you? And what does love do? Love receives. Sure, sweetheart. So the little one comes in, throws in an egg, throws in some flour. Did the mother need it? No. Was the mother sufficient for the task? Yes. Was it a true addition? It was. And God receives us into his sacrifice. And I went back 2,000 years in my mind. If at the foot of Calvary 2,000 years ago, when I yelled, crucify him with that crowd, I put him to death. My sins put him to death. If I loved him then, as I, by his grace, do now, if I could be at the foot of the cross of Calvary and crawl up on that cross with him and give myself with him, who was giving himself for me in the world, through him, with him, and in him to the Father, would I not do that? Yes, I would. And that's when I realized what the Mass was. We don't go back 2,000 years. 2,000 years is brought to us down on every altar through the words of the priest, on every altar, on every Catholic church. Calvary, not re-sacrificed, but made present, represented. It's an eternal sacrifice through time down on every altar. And when the priest offers him bread made God, through him, with him, and in him to the Father, I can join Calvary and give myself, which I didn't 2,000 years ago, but I can, Calvary made present. Through him, I can crawl up on the cross with Jesus and give myself through him, with him, and in him to the Father. I thought, what manner of love is that? It's nothing we could ever invent. And so I entered the church after trying to save Catholics for 18 years.
Hi, everyone. This is Father James Altman for LifeSite News. We hope you enjoyed this video. For more content like this, check the links in the description. You can also connect with us on social media to stay up to date with the latest news on life, faith, family, and freedom. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you all.